97.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.
Hi, welcome to Citi FM's preview of the Barclays English Premier League Match Day 12. Saturday, we start off with a meeting of two stragglers. Newcastle, who haven't won or haven't found a goal since they beat Norwich by 6-2, and Bournemouth, who got beaten last weekend in the South Coast Derby when they took on Southampton at the St. Mary's. Bournemouth have struggled ever since they started this Premier League, while Newcastle have come into their own somewhat. But who's going to win? Will Steve McLaren give Eddie Howe another lesson in Barclays Premier League management, or Eddie Howe will stand the more experienced McLaren? That match is at the Vitality Stadium at 12:45. After that, we bring you our second game from Old Trafford. It's Man United taking on West Brom. Finally, the Red Devils have learned how to score. They did that in midweek against CSKA Moscow. It was 1-0 thanks to Wayne Rooney, but can they get better against West Brom, who can be very tricky opponents? Last season, they beat Man United at Old Trafford by a 1-0 scoreline very late in the game. I've been joined by Thierry Nyan of the City Sports. Thierry, nice to have you here.
Same.
Louis van Gaal must start winning in the league. He must start scoring. Can he do so against West Brom on Saturday?
Well, I think so. I think that he's received a lot of criticism after their last Premier League game, and I think that this particular one they would want to prove their doubters wrong, especially with the likes of Paul Scholes, who has really come at Louis van Gaal's tactics. And I think that if you look at Manchester United, Wayne Rooney has not really been the player that we saw last season. Of course, some seasons back, Anthony Martial started pretty well. In the last few weeks, he's not really got going. But let's see exactly how they are going to be shaping up. I think they really would have something to say about this particular result.
West Brom won this fixture last season by a goal to none, and Tony Pulis' defense have been very funny. They've conceded goals that's very uncharacteristic. Would they look at last season and think that they can go to Old Trafford and go and play out the same way?
I think it's pretty difficult. Even though Old Trafford has not really been a stadium that is very much intimidating, especially against the smaller clubs. I think that Louis van Gaal has instilled some fear into this Manchester United side that really is oppressing a lot of the travelling teams. West Bromwich Albion have not really been themselves last week, and we saw them concede goals against Leicester City, who themselves are a very, very, very good team this season. But I think that if you look at this whole setup, of West Bromwich Albion, they really are not, a classic Tony Pulis side. They are trying, to play like a Tony Pulis side will, but they really are not getting the philosophy like the likes of Stoke City, got, or Crystal Palace, even in the very short stint also, got used to. I think West Brom are going to concede, at Old Trafford, and it might not necessarily be your classic game, because I think Man United would have a lot to say about this, about where the results go this time around.
That game is at 3 p.m. and is our second game on Citi 97.3 on Saturday. Our final game on Saturday is a rematch between Chelsea and Stoke at the Britannia. Remember what happened earlier in the season in the Capital One Cup? Eden Hazard missed a penalty. Chelsea lost on the day, but they drew 1-1 in regulation time. But this time they go back there, 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Chelsea won in midweek against Dinamo Kiev in the Champions League. Thierry, I bring you back. And Chelsea, it's been all over the place for the Blues. They managed to win on Wednesday. They would want a repeat on Saturday, but can they do it again at Stoke City? They drew 1-1 in regulation time at the Capital One Cup. How will it end over 90 minutes?
Well, Chelsea beat Dinamo Kiev in the Champions League. One thing they did have in there was the fans' support, and I think Jose Mourinho himself, said that he did not know exactly how to thank them, but he was only going to do everything possible, just to repay them till the last day he leaves the club. And I think that if that last day is going to be against Stoke City, then Jose has a lot, to pull out of his top drawer, for the Chelsea fans. I think they really have stood behind him, and this is the time to repay them. It really will be a very difficult task, because Chelsea have not really been their best, since last season, or since they won a title last season. They are placed 15th and are playing some of the poorest football I've seen the club play. The results have not been the best, in itself.
So that's our final game on Saturday from 5:30. But on Sunday, Aston Villa welcome Manchester City, and the defending league champions have been in great form. They beat Sevilla away, but they go to an Aston Villa side who have just had a change in management. Tim Sherwood is out. Remy Gard comes in, and the first thing Remy Gard does is to ban French speaking in his dressing room. Thierry, let me bring you back for the final time. Remy Gard says no more French speaking in his dressing room, but there are bigger problems he must address. They lost to Spurs Monday night. He saw them. Can they fare better against Manchester City, who are high on confidence after beating Sevilla in midweek in the Champions League?
Yeah, that particular decision, to ban, French speaking in the dressing room, it could probably be, killing a mosquito with a sledgehammer.
Okay.
I think there are bigger problems that he could, he should be solving, and not dealing with, languages in the dressing room. And obviously, he would be treating that, in the dressing room, or should I say, on the training pitches as well this week, ahead of the game against the leaders, Manchester City. That's rock bottom Aston Villa we are talking about. And I think that, yes, again, we'll be looking at the Ghanaian interest, Jordan Ayew, in that particular game. The fact that he has actually scored twice, and every time he scored, Aston Villa have lost. So let's just pray that he does not score, or he scores and gets his Aston Villa side to win against Man City. But obviously it is a tall order. I do not see them going beyond this Manchester City side, because we have seen them play some very good football this season. Yes, they have lost a few times, but they really are still the team to beat. If you saw them in the Champions League away to Sevilla, then obviously it tells you how well prepared Manuel Pellegrini's side are.
So Manchester City travelling to the Villa Park on Sunday. That's our first game. Our final game sees us at Anfield. It's Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, and they beat Chelsea last weekend. This time they welcome Crystal Palace, a team who on a day can be extremely stubborn. Crystal Palace have played good football. They drew goalless at home to Man United last weekend, while Liverpool, as I said earlier, got a win at Chelsea. That game is at 4 p.m. on Sunday, and it closes out match day 12 for us here on Citi 97.3. As usual, you can win great prizes from Citi 97.3 by taking part in our Predict and Win competition. So drop your predictions in the comment section below this video and give us the outcome of Stoke City versus Chelsea. Who wins, the Potters or the Blues? If you get it right, you stand a chance of winning a fantastic prize from us here at Citi 97.3. Remember that the Barclays English Premier League is live on Citi 97.3. We start off on Saturday at 12:45. We round up everything on Sunday by 6 p.m. Enjoy the games.